fellow geeks. Welcome to another episode of Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostgeeks. Playing with us tonight, we have all four of our regular cast members back after missing Chase and M a couple weeks ago.
That was 2 weeks
Yes,
ago.
my brain's all foggy. I've got a lot going on. But yes, we are all back tonight. And playing Haskell, we have Chase. Playing Quill is M. Playing Stew Drinker is Matt. And playing Moon Eye is Ian. So welcome if this is your first time. We noticed we just got raided. So hello, people. Thanks for joining us. You're just in time for our session to start. Thanks for any new follows. We hope you guys have a good time with us this evening. We are
love
on
new friends.
Yeah, and we're on episode 20, which is crazy that we've been doing this for 20 whole episodes now, and many of you are still with us. So thank you. Tonight, just some quick call-outs real quick. We are using the system and setting of Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition by Wizards of the Coast, and we are playing through their module Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden. This is unsponsored but enthusiastic fan content. You can also find lots of the maps and tokens that we're using tonight from the Rime of the Frostmaiden bundle over on Roll20. So, cool stuff. We also have some fun chat interactions that you can do. Type !engage to find out more, but I'll walk through a couple of the basics in case you're new around here. We have an affirmation bar that you can sway to give the heroes +1 or the villains +1. And you can also dole out hero points and villain points that way, which people can use on checks and I can use to beef up the bad guys or make things more difficult for our wonderful, brave heroes. And you can also gift some useful items. So you'll find those by typing !bag to see what they are. And I think that's all the stuff that I wanted to announce. Yes.
That's some good stuff.
It is some good stuff. So last time on Rime of the Frostgeeks, the party was able to convince the town speaker of East Haven to stop sacrificing townsfolk to the Frostmaiden. He was doing so in an effort to not draw the ire of the Frostmaiden and somehow put an end to this eternal winter ineffectively. So the party traded a magical stew creating cauldron,
Yes.
to make the speaker promise that he would stop these sacrifices. And he did agree to that. He also paid them 400 gold, which Moon Eye returned 99 of it. Then that night, the Frostmaiden herself, Auriel, came and attacked East Haven with her minions, claiming that she was here to take what was hers. And after a great big fight in town, the heroes fought off most of the bad guys, and Auriel left, however, with one frozen villager in tow. Quill also very much exerted herself and pushed her magic to the very brink, resulting in a skin tone change, and the blue handprint of Levistus that was on her shoulder has now spread, turning her whole body a little bit blue. I think I covered everything. So then you guys went back to sleep after a very harrowing night, and we come to the morning. You are met, I guess. Stew Drinker and Moon Eye, did you guys just continue to sleep outside after all of the craziness happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
Then
I will not speak for my brother.
Yes. So you are awoken in the morning, Moon Eye and Stew Drinker, with kind of a timid poke to your shoulder. We'll say Moon Eye. And as you wake up, you see a person, a townsfolk, standing over you, very nervous looking, and they are holding a piece of parchment in their hand. So I'm so sorry to wake you, but I have a message for you, from the speaker. And he hands you the piece of parchment, and you open it up, and you see that it is basically a message.
I can't read.
You can't read?
No.
How has this never come up before?
It's come up before.
Has it?
Yeah.
I just didn't even notice. Okay, well, he gives you a message and then like kind of steps away to let you read it.
Is this a child or an adult?
An adult. Actually, and I'll say it appears to be like a member of the militia, although they're definitely not like, threatening you with a weapon or anything.
Yeah. I will bring this to those who must see it. Thank you.
Okay.
May I ask you a question while I have you here?
Sure.
Do you know of the child named Dirk?
Yeah.
He's a young boy in town with a sister named Annette.
Yeah. I know them.
Yes.
Dirk's always causing trouble.
Yes. Do you know where Dirk lives?
Yeah.
He is to be my apprentice. I saw it in a dream.
Why don't you make a deception check?
I'm not lying to him.
Did you see that Dirk was to be your apprentice?
Well, I saw a moment of importance when I met Dirk the first time and realized you most certainly should be my apprentice. He needs guidance.
So in Moon Eye's mind, he is not lying at all. Okay, then
Right.
in that case, go ahead and make a diplomacy check.
Ah, good.
Or I guess it would persuasion, whatever it is.
Persuasion. Yeah, well, it's still bad. Not right now. 18.
18. Okay. So your eye kind of glows with the morning light as you speak of this prophetic vision you had. And this poor guardsman, also seeing and being aware of the actions you and your friends took the night before, he seems convinced. Oh, okay. Yeah, he just lives over in that house. He'll explain where it is, and say, but I don't know if his dad will like that. You might have to convince him. Anyway, I need to get back.
His father will understand.
Okay.
There are many parents who have difficulties with the path of their children, but time has come for him to move upon it.
He'll nod slowly and then walk away.
Thank you.
And I forgot to roll blessings. I knew I was forgetting something, so I need to roll some blessings real quick. So I've got 3 random blessings. And I'll just roll them all at once. Here we go. So we've got Stew Drinker, Moon Eye, and Quill.
Sweet. Haskell's time to go tonight, probably.
Out of here, Haskell. We don't need you no more.
Haskell was left out of the blessing spree. And those blessings are...
Hey, Tori, while we're rolling blessings, are we doing the hero point change today of 3 to survive, or is that
oh, good announcement.
Future discussion?
We can do that today. Spoiler, I don't expect a whole ton of combat, so I think we'll be fine with it tonight. And then I'll explain all this, and I need to go put my dog away because she's getting into trouble. I can hear it. Anyway, we're making a change to hero points. Now it takes 3 to do a heroic recovery, which is basically the not die one. So that'll take 3, and then as soon as you spend the 3 to do it once, if you have to do another heroic recovery later in the session, it costs 1 extra. So it would be 4, and then 5, and then so on and so forth. So just making things a little more dangerous, but I'm sure chat has your back like always.
Oh yeah.
also, the charms that I rolled for you, I got Stew Drinker with the Charm of Frost, and then
Sweet.
Moon Eye with the Charm of Stone, and
Yep.
Quill, I also rolled Charm of Frost for you. Do any
The
of you
Charm
want
of Frost for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that one is not the sneaky one, right?
No.
That is
Fresh
the.
snow is the sneaky.
Oh, you okay? Yep, you're right. I'll keep it.
Okay. Also, I turned around to see what my dog was doing, and she was chewing on the syrup bottle. So
Nice.
Empty, I hope.
no, but she hadn't opened it yet. She
Oh,
was
that's
just
good.
trying to open it. So I will be right back for 1 second. Maybe Moon Eye and Stew Drinker, you guys can walk over to the inn, and I'll be right back.
Great.
How did you sleep, brother?
I thought it was okay. I was a little worried, so it did take me a second to doze off. But what you got there?
Something from the speaker.
Oh,
A watchman brought it. I
I see.
do not know what it says. It is the 10 Town script.
Right. I'm sure Haskell will love it.
Yes, I agree. And I was able to find out where my apprentice lives.
Oh, whoa.
It
Great.
has been a good morning.
Yeah, very productive.
Okay. So you guys make your way over to the inn, I would assume?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And we'll just say you guys all meet up in Quill's room.
He's so excited about this.
Yeah. Haskell, but Haskell is not wearing his armor today. Haskell is carrying his armor.
Okay. And Moon Eye, do you hand the letter over?
Yes. This was brought from the speaker, Haskell.
Speaker.
Unless, can Quill read?
Quill can read.
That's what I thought. This was brought from the speaker, Quill.
Haskell will try to jump up and grab it, but be far
She'll
too
just
short.
lift it up slightly higher.
Can Stew Drinker not read either?
I think Stew Drinker can, but
Oh, okay.
knowing it's from the speaker, I'm sure Haskell
Let
will want
the
to read it.
others handle
Yeah,
official
y'all will want to
business.
read it first.
Okay.
Read it out
Okay.
loud, Quill.
So Quill, basically, it is a polite yet firm request from the speaker to leave town immediately, or as soon as like reasonably possible, as he feels that your presence here poses a threat to his town's safety. And
Yeah, so-
it has kind of the niceties of like, while I appreciate your help retrieving the cauldron and like resolving our food crisis, it is clear that the Frostmaiden is not pleased with the actions of late, and so we think you should leave.
Yeah, she'll like start reading it in a normal voice and then like slowly start like transforming into like obvious irritation and then throw the note down when she's done. Can you believe that?
We defend his town from a horde of monsters, and he's saying we're the problem.
And then he wants us to leave, for he thinks it is our problem. We cannot just blame this on superstition.
It's no wonder this place is in a frozen hell. This
I
maiden
bet-
of frost is angry at all these people lacking intelligence, basic courtesy.
They are afraid.
They should all freeze to death.
I bet he is just irritated with the way we told him off yesterday.
I don't think he has enough brains to piece that together. Speakers can only do one thing, flap their mouth. There's no prerequisite to have to use their brains as well.
Well, I do not wish to be here any longer, so I do not plan on throwing a fit about this unless you think it will get us something.
Let us just leave the town.
As
Do you
any
have any
child
plan
can
on
tell
coming
you,
back anytime soon?
throwing a fit will never get you the last rib.
I don't throw fits. I just get even.
I find that setting people on fire will get me the last rib.
That's a bit extreme.
It
Don't you
is
think?
just a saying.
Is it?
She'll
I
just
don't
brush
think I've
her
ever
hair
heard
out.
anyone say that.
It was quite common in my tribe.
You didn't have a tribe. You lived on your own.
I had a tribe before I lived on my own. Do you
The
not
same
remember
one that
my
tried
story,
to sacrifice
Haskell?
you to a god.
Yes. They were a brutal people.
You shouldn't pick up phrases from them.
I
This
should
will not
definitely roll a deception because she's lying. She's just trying to get out of this.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
And
I
just
just-
casually say, yeah, we should light them on fire. It's just that's just a figure of speech.
That's just a figure of speech.
Speaking of
I'm-
figures of speech, I feel like we need Ian, you need to keep like a written log of all of Moon Eye's pieces
Yeah.
of wisdom.
So good.
Question for you,
Mhm.
Tori. Is there
Mhm.
music playing? I cannot hear it.
Oh, no, there's not. I'm just totally off my game tonight, you guys. I don't know what's gotten into me. But thank you for that call out. I will start
I
some
got
now.
a 27.
Wow.
Ooh.
Oh, I have to
I'm-
roll an insight, don't I? That's how this works.
I mean, if you want.
Oh, I want.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
It's 21, which is
Oh.
pretty good, but
It was pretty good.
not good enough. If you're always telling me to mind my manners, don't be speaking phrases from murderous tribes.
You are quite right, Haskell. I am sorry. But niceties aside, I think we should leave. Get as
I
much
think so as
traveling
well.
done in the warm hours.
I would like to sell my armor first before we go. Meet me out at
We
the
had
gate.
half a day yesterday before we decided to stay. You could not have sold your armor then?
We were attacked in the middle of the night, and I realized that it's doing nothing for me. It slows me down. It felt quite nice being able to move freely.
All right then. We will wait for you, Haskell.
We can just kind of overhead the story, but I would like to try to sell this at a shop in town, and I would like to lie my butt off and say that I got this off of a piece of hide from that crazy creature that attacked the town last night. I want to just spin some.
Isn't it
wild
leather
story.
armor?
It's leather armor, but I want to spin a story about
And you're
it.
saying it's hide from a
I-
creature
oh,
last
yeah.
night
Yeah, I cured it. It cured
in
quickly.
a night, and you
Uh-huh.
assembled it into armor.
Clearly magical. It happened so
Magic.
fast.
All right, go ahead and make that. I know my DC for you.
Good. Here we go. Maybe if it rolls, there we go.
Wow.
Nat 20? Is that my
Crit.
It was a sign.
DC? He spins such a
Apparently.
wonderful tale. He does it up with little bits of snow just before he brings it in.
All right, you can sell it for some extra, and we'll figure it
Nice.
out later.
That one's on you, Tori.
Why?
When-
The one
when
who
you-
was like, I want to lie my butt off.
You didn't believe in me, and therefore the dice had to make it happen.
I have 12 villain points. I could have used them,
Oh.
and I didn't.
No! Don't negate nat 20s with villain points.
I've got 12. I've got to do something with them.
Bring Ariel back. We'll spank her again.
How much I get for this?
Is that what happened, Quill? Is that what happened when you ran away?
Ariel? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'll figure it out later
Okay.
because I have to figure out how much more they would be willing to pay for that.
Yeah, sure. Fair enough.
So don't let me forget.
I already have on my sheet Nat 20's amount of coin.
Okay. All right, so you guys are heading out, and after Haskell goes and sells his armor, you guys get your things together and start heading out of town, and you see sort of on the way out of town. There's not really like an official. Yes, Quill.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. I was just curious where we landed on in regards to the dogs.
Oh yeah, we were planning on stealing dogs in the morning, and then we got attacked.
Well,
Yep.
we're supposed to get out of town. I think we should just get out.
Okay. What if, Tori, hear me out. What if I traded my armor for some dogs?
I think you could trade I don't think there's any way you could trade it for both sleds and both teams of dogs, because you would need two to carry everybody.
What about one sled of dogs?
And you're just gonna sled along slowly
it's like
next
a
to
magic
everybody
bean
else
for like
as they
the
walk.
livestock situation, you know?
We can always eat the dogs if necessary,
Oh
Tori.
my gosh, this got. Where are we? What have we been talking about? You want to trade it for one sled and one team of dogs?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll buy one team of dogs, and while we're there, we can leave Haskell behind, and he can steal the rest of the dogs. And we'll meet him outside of town in 20 minutes.
I mean, that's on you guys. I don't know how badly you want to steal and or hawk this armor for dogs. So,
how do you feel about this, Chase? How important is 2 sleds of dogs to you?
I don't know. Am I getting a team of dogs for my armor?
Okay.
I don't know. Chase, I wasn't expecting a nat 20 on a lie for some worthless leather armor. It's literally not worth even a single dog.
You got to stay frosty with Haskell. Pun
It's okay.
intended, Tori.
We can do dog shenanigans another time.
Yeah, we can go without dogs.
I will say they are like, people are aware of you, and it seems the militia is a little more watchful of you, because it seems like word has spread of you kind of potentially being the reason why the Frostmaiden attacked last night, and so people are giving you wide berth and are also keeping a close eye on you.
Okay.
So a theft might be a little bit trickier than just casually rolling up to the dog shop and saying, "Look over there," and then running away with some dogs.
Fair enough.
Okay, you guys.
Before we go,
yes.
Is there any chance that I could ask anyone who was the one that was taken last night?
Oh, sure. That's pretty common knowledge. They will tell you. I apologize, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I think it was I don't remember the name. Was it Dag? I don't know. But it was the same man who was like up to be sacrificed at the next month that they were going to sacrifice someone.
Thank you.
Yeah. People are saddened by the turn of events, understandably so. And as Haskell, especially as you walk around town, things are like not totally wrecked, but there are definitely damaged buildings throughout. And you see like a handful of injured people. There's been like a makeshift like hospital kind of set up for the people that have been hurt. So the town is in rough shape as you guys are taking off. And as you head out of town, you see a large figure, a Goliath-sized figure, waiting for you on the road.
Start waving.
Are we going to attack this one?
Do we have time for another handstand competition?
It may not be a handstand competition that we do. Depends on the individuals involved and what challenge will be done.
Where does handstanding stand among the epic levels of competitions amongst your tribes?
It would be definitely above whale eating, but I find it below martial.
I would
But
much rather
also-
see a Goliath eat a whale before
Also
doing
below
anything.
seeing. But whale eating leads to the individual survival. It is not just a true test of straight endurance.
Haskell's gonna pull out some parchment and start taking notes.
A rank list of Goliath feats.
Yes.
Whale eat. Is this like a whale eating contest? That's what I'm picturing. Just like buckets of whale meat, and whoever eats the most.
Not buckets, it's a whale carcass. And
Oh,
one,
it's just a straight up carcass.
Wha-
It's just a
One-
raw carcass.
one team will start at the head and one team will start at the tail. And they butcher and eat as they go. And whoever, when they finally meet in the middle, whoever has gotten closest.
Do they even
Yum.
cook it?
Well, no, there's no time to cook it.
Ugh.
There's no rule that says you couldn't cook it, but of course the gods would be upset by that.
Well,
This
if
is a
it's
very rare contest indeed, because both Goliath clans are up in the mountains, pretty far from the sea. So it's a rare, very choice occasion if there is a whale carcass to be devoured.
Yes.
So the gods will it. That's how you don't get sick. I see now.
Well, as they say, the weasel and the fox choose to be with each other, do they not?
Indeed.
Do
The
they?
gods do not thwart tradition. Of course, Quill. Don't be so naive.
Really, Haskell, you're going to start that again. Not knowing one thing about two odd animals pairing is not naive.
It's such a naive thing to say.
So are you guys just standing like 15 feet away from this figure having this whole
Okay, so Haskell's gonna
conversation?
have his sickle drawn because, like, as in his experience, we're gonna kill this thing or we're gonna stand on our hands. There's one of two options.
Haskell, you should put that away. That sends a message that you desire combat immediately.
Or it sends a message that I'm not to be trifled with. I'll take my chances given the track record we have.
It does not send that message.
The figure does wave back to Stu, who waved first.
You see?
I'm gonna wave back with my sickle.
Goliath will always talk before pulling a blade. If you've brought a weapon, that means you intend to use it.
I suppose I've not been proven any differently in terms of Goliaths. I'll put my sickle away.
All right, you approach and you see it is a female Goliath, and she looks at Moon Eye and Stew Drinker carefully, and then kind of nods to herself, and she says, "Yes, you are the ones from my dream. I was supposed to seek you for peace between the Goliaths." And she'll kind of do like not quite a full bow, but she'll like nod her head respectfully and say, I am Quan the Monolith of the
Drinker will
Thun
return
Laka
this.
Laga tribe, which is a name you guys will recognize as being of Sky Tower Shelter.
You have Sky Tower.
Yes.
You seek peace between our tribes?
Yes. I have shamed myself greatly. And when she says this, you guys, it sparks something in your memory. And you think this is perhaps the Goliath that Ronaldo mentioned, who had a gambling problem and sort of lost everything in 10 towns, and as redemption, trying to earn her honor back, she sought to end the Goliath feud.
Is Sky Tower where we're going?
It is now. We have been laid in front of us.
But is it the same tower that we were heading to?
It is the tower we're heading to now.
Quill, Moon Eye is not making sense to me. Is it the same tower?
How would I know, Haskell?
Right, because you're naive, I see.
Haskell! Can we just get the handstands out of it and move on? It was Sky Tower people we fought with last time, yes?
You have fought members of my clan.
We have not fought them.
Pitted against.
We had a challenge.
And did you best them honorably?
Of course we did.
Easily.
Will
My
you help
brother
me
and
in
I.
this quest? My vision told me you held the key, and she kind of looks to you, Moon Eye, and Stew Drinker. The spirits have not led me astray, I hope.
They have not.
How do you feel about this, Stew Drinker?
I'd like to bring the tribes together again. And you can kind of see that, like when he says that, he just kind of looks off in the distance, a little lost in thought. But you do see like a smile begin to creep on his face. And he says, yeah, I think, what we saw, gestures towards Moon Eye, what we saw in the night, I think that with everyone's help, it must be much easier. It'll be much easier.
I think you are correct. Although I will say, brother, it will be now in the time of the physical, which may increase that challenge.
Right.
How do you think your pursued lover will feel about another detour, Quill?
Not great, likely.
Are you willing to take a hard stance on it?
I have already told her that I would help Moon Eye and Stew Drinker. Is this not the same quest you were speaking of last night?
It is, but now the path has been laid clear to us.
And how
Very
much
well.
further do you think this will take us?
I can pull you guys over to the map real quick.
Thank
and
you.
Show you. Boop. Okay. Quick answer. It's a ways. It's a journey, but it's not entirely out of the way. I will show you guys. Okay, so you guys are here in East Haven. And this is Sky Tower Shelter.
This one, and then we were gonna go here.
Mhm.
You were gonna go here, and then the farther one is Worm Doom Crag.
Man, we should have just gone straight there after the Cave of Berserkers. Our
Yeah.
pathing is the worst.
Oh,
We've
you
been
didn't know that
quite
all of these
scattered.
things were important.
All right. That is quite a way, she says after looking at her map. Do we have the same ring as before? Can we use it to get to the cave?
Oh, the Berserker Ring.
Yeah, it teleported us once before.
Yeah, it exploded when you guys destroyed the brazier.
Right. That's right.
What a bummer.
The journey
Wherever
is
we're
long.
going to go,
but
let us
this
just
is
get going.
important. You
Wherever
small
the
folk,
destiny lies.
you do not have to come if you do not wish. You have no part in this Goliath feud.
Oh, I have a part in it.
She glances at Moon Eye.
He believes he has a part in everything. I will say in Giant.
We all have a part in everything. That's why we're crossing paths right now. Perhaps we are destined to be friends. Perhaps we will kill each other. Time will tell.
Haskell?
Not you, Mooneye. We've already proven to be friends.
Oh, I was to say that is the deepest, most profound thing I've ever seen you slide between those flapping jaws.
Well, thank you. Perhaps if you open your ears, you'll hear some more. I've been saying quite a lot.
Yes, and it is time we start moving our feet rather than our mouths.
Tori, can I roll some sort of check on the fact that I'm blue and to figure out why I'm blue? Like, I know I have an assumption that it is from Levistus, but is it in any way related to the contract?
Oh, I see. Well, Mooneye and Haskell did both. Haskell didn't say anything though. Haskell was the one who
I have
figured
your
out.
black ice, though.
Yeah.
It's true.
Oh, that's a really good point, actually, Haskell. I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
Oh, yes.
Finally, my
Join
good
me
one.
on the dark side.
I won't, because I have really good charisma saving throw.
That one's happened.
That's true. Here we go. Well,
11 is not very
that's
high.
quite bad. I spoke too soon.
Okay.
I will use a hero point. I'll reroll that.
Okay.
That one. Oh, it's lower.
Well, it's
Yeah.
So that's gonna put 13. Are we affirmated? We're affirmated. So yeah, 13. Give it to me, Tori.
No, it's just that you guys pass so many saving throws with flying colors, and it's been this one twice that's just
Just meant to be.
I will message you, and we
Okay.
can chat on the break, but we won't have to deal with that right away.
Cool. Sounds good.
So, Quill, you wanted to roll something. Go ahead and roll a probably insight, or if
Okay.
you'd rather go intelligence based.
I did when I first got the contracting, I got a nat 20 to understand it.
Okay. Okay, then go ahead and roll insight.
Okay.
Ooh.
18.
Okay. 18. So you don't think nothing, like you are thinking back through the contract and you're like, I thought I found every little, loophole kind of thing, and you don't think it is a result of the breach of contract or anything.
Like she's not
that.
taking too long. It's not like a preemptive punishment. Okay.
No, in fact, it doesn't feel like a punishment. It feels more like you think maybe you've sort of what's like a good you've dug deeper into the mine. Like you've tapped that magic enough and so heavily that it's like it's starting to affect you,
Interesting.
Like,
I like it.
you're going deeper. If that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah. So, yes, but you don't think that you have broken the contract at this point. Okay. So you guys start traveling with Quan the Monolith, who has a neat name. She's not really one for talking much. She's not very talkative. She's quite not unfriendly, but she's just very stoic. So you who's leading the charge here? Who's navigating?
If y'all don't mind, Stew Drinker is particularly excited and would like to take the lead.
I have no opposition. I couldn't walk faster than you if I tried.
Wait, fine to follow my brother.
That's true. Oh, and I should ask, are you guys going first to Sky Tower Shelter or Worm Doom Crag? Quan the Monolith, her focus is like, I need to resolve this, and you guys were the ones that I've like been basically told that I need to do it with you guys. But beyond that, she doesn't really have a plan. So she seems willing to sort of defer to whatever sort of plan you want to put together.
Okay.
I say we go right to the center of it.
I think it best to go home first, brother.
All right. I'm on board. And as he starts marching his way forward, you'll note that his movements have taken on a little bit more speed. And every now and then it looks a little awkward as he'll get onto all fours and start moving, as he's utilizing the aspect of the elk to double our travel time, or like not double our travel time, but speed. Speed.
Those are vastly different.
Go extra slow.
Look at this cool power I have that makes everything take longer.
You can enjoy the scenery. That's incredible, Stew Drinker. Anything that gets us through this frozen hell faster.
Yeah, Stew Drinker, you kind of, when you really tap into this, you kind of see on the wind or like in the snow drifts or even kind of out of the corner of your eye, a hint of that elk who led you in the dream. And you see Atka a couple times guiding you, it seems.
Fantastic.
So I'm going to need you to make, let's say, how many miles was it again? So I need you to make 4 survival checks.
Okay. For the first one, I'm going to click my heels together and utilize my boots of the Pathfinder to give myself advantage.
And we are gonna, so what I'm doing here, I should explain first. I'm just gonna cover the whole trip. Like, this is just gonna be one big montage, and your survival checks are going to like indicate how easy or difficult, how pleasant or unpleasant it was.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's not good.
Oh no!
Oh, whoa!
2 nat ones? Oh my gosh, Matt, you have to share your rolls with the chat since they can't see.
It's not pleasant.
Okay, so the first one with advantage, I got a 14, but then I rolled a natural 1, a natural 1, and a natural 2, y'all.
You do have hero points if you want. You don't have to use them, but
I'm going with it.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
It's meant to be at this point,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That was just too funny. Okay. Well, I'll say you guys, here's what I'll do. So the first day goes fine. And then I will let you guys fill in the blanks. So first I'll start with Chase. What was the natural 1 day like? Why was it so bad? In addition, so this whole trip is going to take you longer than it maybe could have initially. But in addition, what was so bad on natural 1 day number 1?
Well, we found a very nice path for the Goliaths, but the snow got so deep that Quill and I were just like below snow level. So they had to carry me and Quill. And Haskell complained the whole time because he fell into the snow and he was very, very cold. And he blamed Stew Drinker for it the entire day.
Grumpy Haskell. That does sound like a nat 1.
Quill kept making remarks about how this would be easier on a sled. Complaining, but just like every once in a while she'd feed into Haskell's like rage and let it build up and explode all over again.
Quill, what was natural 1 day number 2?
Oh no, I was not ready for this. Okay, so similar, like we got to this place and there was a river that ran through it, one that they did not recall was going to be there. And we actually lost Haskell for a minute as he was swept away in the river, and we had to detour to go save him because short little Haskell could not stay with the group and cross this icy river. So not only were we cold, we had a detour pretty hard.
And Haskell blamed everybody else.
Can I say that to your character, Chase? Is that okay?
Yes.
I just like God modded it hard.
No, it's fits.
Okay, and finally, Ian, this was not a nat 1 day, but it was a 4 survival check total. So what went wrong on the last day of the trip as you guys finally made it?
Well, the weather got better. We found a good path. We traveled well. And it was so light and easy compared to the previous part of the journey that we're all in very good spirits. But unfortunately, as we got to dusk, realized that we were going in the completely wrong direction. So we had to backtrack throughout the evening. So by the time we get there, it'll be late into the night. We're all pretty tired and cold.
Yeah. Well, overall, it was a very unpleasant trip. But you guys make it otherwise without great incident, and everyone is in one piece. Really quick, before we get to Wormdoom Crag, we have some blessings coming in. I forgot to roll this one, but Haskell, you got a blessing, a random blessing. You got the charm of fire. Would you like a reroll, or do you want that one?
Nah, let's do it. He's in a bad mood.
Okay, and that one I believe is going up to moderate because I think you got blessed a second time.
Woohoo!
Yes.
Thank you, chat.
And then Quill, you are getting a new second blessing.
Oh snap! Thanks, Tony.
Yes.
Charm of the Storm.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You know I love me that storm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys finally, as the sun is setting, you finally made it to Wormdoom Crag. Moon Eye, it has been a very long time since you've been back home.
Has been.
Stew Drinker, it's been now, I guess, a few months, several months probably,
Yeah.
of you wandering.
I think when Moon Eye had come back to meet Stew Drinker, he didn't go into the crag at all.
Mm-hmm.
He got an animal to go in and speak with Stew Drinker and come out. And
Pass a note.
Yeah.
Hey,
so
come
he-
outside.
Heck yes, if you're interested. But so he is. Moon Eye has not been back since he was 12. So like
Yeah.
10 years.
Okay, cool. So as you guys, this is not news to Stew Drinker or Moon Eye, but Quill and Haskell, you've obviously never been here before. You, as soon as you sort of hit on the trail finally to the crag itself, it's easy to find. There are fresh tracks going up and down the path. And it's set into the northern slope of a huge mountain. And you come to a large cave, outside of which are the massive bones of a dragon, half buried in the snow. They look quite old. It's definitely not like a fresh kill or anything like that. It looks very much part of the landscape. And past this massive dragon skeleton, there's the flicker of torchlight coming from the cave beyond. You also see, east of the dragon's bones, some steps hewn into the cliffside that lead up to looks to be, it's hard to see from down here, but kind of an open air arena. And that's Stew Drinker, you know quite well. That's sometimes where people go to play goat ball. Although it is not the arena where you and Moon Eye had your little vision quest.
Mm-hmm.
Are these dragon bones touchable?
Yes. Like, are they reachable?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
they are physical. Like,
Haskell's
they
gonna
are
go hug
tangible
one.
things. Okay.
He's gonna be super reverent. This place is sacred. You built your town on a shrine. Much more respect for your people.
Well, thank you. Welcome. Let me show you around.
Stew Drinker and Moon Eye, both of you guys would know that the story behind the dragon bones are that when your ancestors first came to settle this area, a dragon was giving them trouble, and the dragon thought that the Goliaths would be easy pickings and came to clear them out, basically, and your ancestors showed that dragon what's what, and they left the bones as like a token of their great strength and fortitude and their people's, ability to weather any challenge. As you're hugging these bones, Haskell, you see a small little face pop out of the snow, a little Chwinga face. It's got a dark triangle painted over one of its eyes, and it looks at you and kind of tilts its head, looking up at you.
Hello, little godling. I know why you flocked to this place. It is peaceful here. He'll crouch down to it.
It climbs up out of the snow and up your arm, and then onto your shoulder.
What did you want of me?
It sits on your shoulder and pulls out a little pine needle and like whips it like a horse whip.
Like for me to get going?
Yeah.
Hurry, Stew Drinker. The godling requires a tour.
In a very like you would a horse or something, or like a carriage, a buggy.
Haskell will he will trot.
As Haskell's trotting around, Moon Eye, a Chwinga peeks out at you from from behind one of the dragon bones, and it has two blue circles, two concentric circles on its face, and it walks up to you and like makes the grabby hands like lift me up kind of thing, like a baby.
I'll bend down and pick it up. Hello, little one.
As you bring it up closer, it pulls out a pine cone and points at your face, at your mouth.
I will open it.
As you bring it closer, it like pulls your chin up to shut your mouth, and then it starts combing your beard with the pine cone.
Oh. I'll let it comb away.
It does. It seems delighted at this.
Our region's godlings are far more endearing than the ones we've seen elsewhere.
Our people are very close to the little ones.
I can see that. Haskell's gonna be so well behaved here. He's not gonna glare at anyone or heckle anyone.
Wow.
Awesome.
Quill, you're surprised to see a Chwinga like kind of emerge from your big fluffy cloak. And it walks out from like the flaps of your cloak, and it like struts on the snow. Like it's on a catwalk, and it has a little gown made of pine needles, and it like takes a few like steps away from you, and then it like strikes a pose and turns around and looks at you fiercely.
Can please tell me that this is the chubbiest little Chwinga?
Sure, it can be
Yes!
now.
Does the belly does at least 3 bounces and stares at me? Yes. Okay. Well, Quill is going to immediately crouch down, cast about in the snow for a little twig with like a little tiny pine cone on the end, and she's gonna gently hold it out as if like it's like little trophy award for being the best Chwinga.
That was incredible. Please take this. You deserve it.
It takes the little twig and like sort of like tosses it over its shoulder, like a like a fashion model would, like a purse or something.
Yes.
Strut, continue, walk.
It does. It struts in Haskell's path that he's like trotting around. And finally, for Stew Drinker, we can't leave Stew Drinker out of this. There's a little Chwinga with 2 curly black antennae growing out of its head. And it just kind of looks at you blankly.
Hey, little guy.
And you start talking to it, and it like cowers and runs behind the nearest dragon bone.
No,
Don't
it's
speak
okay.
so aggressively to it.
I'm sorry.
Have more gentle tones.
Okay. Hey, little guy.
That's better.
It dives into the snow and comes back up with like 2 cotton balls, like earmuffs. And it's like still cowering, but it's looking at you.
Oh, Stew Drinker is gonna see those and then grab some snow, ball them up, and put them up against his ears. And just smile at him. You like these?
It puts a finger to its face and then like grips the cotton balls again. And then as you're quiet, it slowly creeps up to you like a squirrel that you're holding out a peanut to. Like it very carefully goes up to you until you're finally within reaching distance. And then it like gently pats your boot.
Stew Drinker will go to take off his boot and hold it out for him to jump into.
Okay, he does this. They're so delighted, and they dive right in, and they disappear. You don't see them anymore.
All right. I'll respect where it's chosen to jump into and make its temporary home, and I'll just kind of hold it on my shoulder as I continue inward.
Okay. So with various Chwingas trancing around you, you guys make your way up. There's no like, gate or anything. Stew Drinker, that like just it's sort of a cave network. It's not huge, but the cave sort of connects to various chambers. The middle one that you would go right straight into is sort of the main hall where most of the clan members sleep and operate from, and that's kind of where the big fire pit is and all of that. So are you just gonna kind of lead them to the main people, or do you want to go to the goat ball court, or where to first?
I'm thinking going straight to the main area. I don't want there to be any surprises, so I want to lead them and, if possible, to the head honcho, the main chief, so that we can announce our presence so everyone knows.
Okay, yeah, you head in, and it's pretty casual. Like your clan is pretty friendly and open to visitors, other than the Sky Tower shelter Goliaths. And actually, you do notice that Quan the Monolith, she's quite nervous. She seems like she is kind of hanging back, bringing up the rear, letting you guys go first.
Moon Eye is with her.
Okay. I am afraid my presence here will not be welcome.
We will protect you, but my presence will not be strongly welcomed either by some.
Isn't this your home?
It is.
Why would they not welcome you back?
When the spark breaks from the fire, it can burn on its own, but it may not get back to the fire.
I understand. Do you have a speaker here?
Not in the traditional, not in the way that Haskell is probably meaning it.
Yeah.
Not the way Ten Towns does.
Thank the gods. I'm so sick of dealing with speakers. I'll do the talking for you. I can talk you up. Tell of your heroic exploits.
As you guys are heading up toward the cave, you hear a voice that sounds very familiar, Stew Drinker. You hear, Stew, or I guess she would call you Catherine! And you see Kinna. Em would probably do a better Kinna voice because she was Kinna.
I don't know. She's grown up a little bit. You're gonna do just great.
It's been a little bit. But she runs out to, and she looks ecstatic that you're here.
Stew Drinker is gonna, still being mindful of the chwinga in his boot, gonna run up to her and go and give her a big hug.
She hugs you super tight right back, and you are surprised at how much bigger she's gotten. She's definitely not as big as you in Moon Eye. Maybe she never will be, but she has grown up so much, even in the short time you've been away. And she's starting to look like a young adult Goliath.
Tina, you've grown so much.
I haven't grown that much.
Oh, it's been a little while since I've seen you, and it seems like it's been years.
Come on, you have to say hi to Mom and Dad. Why are you back? Are you staying here?
Well, there's something we got to take care of. Hey, why don't you look over there? And Stew Drinker will be gesturing over specifically towards Moon Eye.
Hello, sister. It is good to see you. It has been many years.
Are you coming back to stay?
We are not here to stay, unfortunately.
How big is their sister, like, size-wise?
She's
Like,
bigger than Haskell.
Okay. Doesn't narrow it down very much.
No, it doesn't. She's
Is she
probably
like-
like Quill's size.
Okay, but she's like a very young Goliath.
Yeah, she was 7? Is that what we said in the little flashback we had?
Sure.
She was
Sounds right.
young. And it's been a few years since then, so
Gotcha.
she's young. She's like approaching teenager-ish.
Yeah, she's like 11 or something, 12.
Your brothers have been doing wonderful things for the world. They believe they're going to stop this frozen hell someday. I'm Haskell, by the way, their new friend.
I'm Kina.
Lovely to meet you, Kina. He's going to do a very dramatic bow.
She
Stew
kind
drink.
of she kind of looks like at you curiously, and she says, "You are the smallest person I have ever seen."
And you're one of the largest I've ever seen for your age.
Wait till you go inside.
Ah, yes. I'm very aware of how large your people are. Quite impressive, especially when they're standing on their hands.
Your horns are so cool, she says to you, Quill. Is that a real Yeti?
Yes, and thank you.
She gets down on Gale's level and kind of starts to, like, make like animal sounds when you're trying to like bond with an animal.
Might want to be careful. Quill's not the best trainer.
Kina has a natural way with Gale and seems to just get along with him so well, almost as if M were playing her and interacting with Gale. It's amazing.
Wow. Okay.
Not better than Quill. Quill
Okay.
has the strongest bond with Gale, but Gale seems to be okay with Kina.
Haskell's gonna lean over. You don't want the repercussions if your Yeti is to bite a child in a town of half-giants.
Calm yourself, Haskell. Gale has traveled with us for some time. And as you said, this place is special.
At what point do you think the murderous instinct kicks in on a Yeti?
Oh, he's so cute. He could never murder anyone.
You're probably right.
Well, he would not murder them, but he certainly could rend someone apart and feed upon them.
I
Murder
see that
would
Mooneye
infer a
is your
thought
brother
process.
who teases you.
I don't know. I don't really remember when he was around. I was pretty little.
Yes,
Are
I
you-
left when she was a small child.
Oh, I see. I did not mean to wander into such an impolite conversation.
And I was not teasing her. I was speaking that the creature cannot think about murder, but it certainly will get to a point where it wishes to pull people's arms off and feed upon their organs.
Nina,
That
rather than
is
listening to
so-
your grim brother, why don't you walk with me? Give me a tour of your town. Tell me about your gods.
It's not grim, it's the natural way.
Well,
My request stands.
you should first meet our chief.
Finally, a chief, not a speaker. Let
Well,
me tell you about
he
how...
also speaks. Or I'm
Yes.
sorry, she. She also speaks.
Well, that's much better than a speaker. Let me tell you about how stupid speakers are as we walk.
Okay. She leads you up. It's just a short little ways to the cave. And soon you come into a central chamber. And actually, I'll just go ahead and pull you guys over to the map. It's not super important, but just so you can visualize what we're doing here.
Can I do a persuasion to try to like joke around and like
Make a good impression.
with her?
Yeah.
Okay. Ah,
You guys
Haskell,
see?
you're not very funny. His
No,
jokes
sorry,
get a
I have to
little
put your
too,
tokens on.
Oh,
His
okay.
jokes get a little too dark.
That's probably.
Oh.
Oh,
It's only a 7. That's probably
You-
exactly what happens.
That's sad.
I'll say it's a combination of that and you are just both from very different cultures. She doesn't totally get all of your jokes.
He has to explain all his jokes. You're supposed to laugh at that one.
Yeah, like she doesn't really know what a speaker is. So as you're like riffing on that, she's very polite and she's very nice, but she clearly doesn't really understand. She's also quite young, so.
Fair enough.
Okay,
Oh,
can you guys see now?
this just changed sizes dramatically.
Yes.
There we go.
This is Goliath country that you're in. So they're little Chwingas too, but that's fine. So you guys head up and head into the central chamber, which I will just... There's so many tokens. I should get rid of some of these tokens because you don't need all of them. But you get the idea. There are a lot of Goliaths in here when you walk in. And there is a central, like, fire pit of sorts in the middle. It's got a domed roof about 30 feet high. Or, I'm sorry, it's not a fire pit. It's an open well in the middle of the floor. And that is where they have water. That's where they get their fresh water from. You see some stairs to the south And let's see. A female. Well, actually, I guess you guys came late in the night, right? Or around sundown. So probably most everyone would be gathered here. And they all look at you, and Kina says, "Look who's here! It's Kazarin! It's Kazarin, everyone!" And Moonite, don't think I've ever used your name.
No. Yothi.
But Keothi. That's probably how Kina would have known you. So
Yes.
It's Kazarin and Keothi. They came back to visit. Isn't it great? And they brought friends.
Eskel looks around for who these people are.
For Kazarin and Keothi. What do you guys? You didn't really introduce Kina to Quan, and she is still sort of hanging back. In fact, she offers to wait outside while you guys sort of talk to the Wormdoom Crag Goliaths. What would you guys have had her do?
I say, I think that you should come, but stay in the back, just here at the entrance.
Okay, I'll just say that this token is her.
And I will stay right next to her.
Okay. So the
Scanning
room,
for our parents. Are our parents? Yeah. Can we see them?
Yeah. There are many people in here. It seems like people are sort of getting settled for like nighttime routines. And you do see your parents. How about Stew Drinker or Matt? Why don't you describe your mom, and Ian, you can describe your dad.
Okay. So, Mom has a pretty long black braid that goes down to, I'd say, maybe the middle of her back. And you can see that there are bones that are kind of interwoven within them. And it gives kind of like a slightly chilling and yet oddly beautiful look to this. You can see that though she is beautiful, you see a noticeable like sternness in her face, kind of sallow as far as like just beneath her cheekbones, very prominent. And she stands quite tall, actually taller than Stew Drinker's father is, quite slim. And as far as what she's wearing, it's very, it covers her entire body, but it seems to be very, very easy to move around in. Less so armor, more so like just pure functionality. But I'd say that maybe upon seeing Stew Drinker, you don't see a smile on her face. She just kind of stares.
What is your relationship with your mom?
I'd say it's the sort of relationship where, at least when she's with father, they both are fairly strict, fairly like authoritarian, but when she's alone with Stew Drinker, that's when she like will smile and usually be the one who kind of comforts him if dad was maybe a little too harsh earlier in the day. But she won't do that in front of father out of fear of them not seeming like a united front.
Okay. And Moon Eye, or I guess Ian, why don't you describe Moon Eye and Stew Drinker's father?
Our father is much older than our mother. This was actually his second wife. His first wife died in a horrible accident before he had any children. And so he's quite wrinkled and sports a large beard. He is shorter than our mother and wide, but you can see the kind of hunch. He clearly was a great, he was never a warrior per se, but a hunter and one who cared for the tribe. But at this point, his back is much more bowed over and nearing the end of his life. He's very stern to everyone, but especially to his children, and has no smile across his face, really anytime. Very stone-faced and rigid. But there is a bit of a twinkle in his eye sometimes when he's clearly enjoying something. That's really the only emotional pleasure response you see come across his face anyway. And physically, his beard and hair were black. Now they're more of a gray as things have aged out, and he keeps it quite long.
Cool. I'm really into these descriptions. They're very cool. So I suppose, given that your father has a very stern face when he sees you both, and your mother has like a flash of pleasure and like happiness at seeing both of you, and Moon Eye, or Kyothi, she seems surprised, but she does seem tempered by your father's response and seems kind of waiting to see what his reaction is. And overall, he just has a very stony face at this time and says nothing. However, one Goliath kind of steps up from the stairs to the south of this cavern, and she has a very nice looking cloak, cape on. It's this really beautiful, also it looks to be maybe like a mammoth cloak. It's this nice thick cloak that she has on, and she says, "Welcome to Wormdoom Crag. I hope that you will find our hospitality suitable. It is wonderful to have you back, Kazarin. And Kyothi, this is unexpected, but you are, of course, welcome here. However," and she turns her attention toward Quan, the monolith. "However, we do not tolerate those of the Sky Tower shelter at this place. Please leave now."
She travels with us as our guest. You cannot turn away a guest.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check. Is anyone helping Moon Eye out? Or speaking up at this time?
Yeah, Haskell will speak up.
Okay.
She has caused no
11.
trouble. She has been protecting us on our travels. I'll keep an eye on her.
Okay, Haskell, you can make a persuasion check as well. Or I guess Moon Eye with advantage. Either one of those is fine.
Yeah, probably a Moon Eye. I can't imagine Haskell earns a whole lot of respect around here.
Okay, go ahead and roll again then, Moon Eye.
17.
Nice.
Nice.
As for Moon Eye, that's quite good.
And
Basically, he's confidently stands his ground and states the fact. And
with Haskell also chiming in, she stands there. The hall is in silence as everyone waits to hear her ruling. And she finally nods and says, "As you say, then, I expect, as your guest, you will keep a close watch on her to ensure she causes no trouble here."
we will.
I sees better than pretty much anybody I've ever known. Moon goddess and all that. His one eye
Yes.
is deceiving.
Well, please, come in. We have food in the back. If you will follow me, you are welcome.
Haskell's gonna rush at the food mention. He'll shake
Okay.
her hand as he walks by. I'm Haskell, by the way.
I am Chief Ogolai. I guess she would probably use her nickname. I am Chief Ogolai Orc Splitter.
He'll bow. Thank you for telling me your son's real names.
My
And then
sons.
Oh, sorry. Are you not their mother?
That is not our mother.
No.
I'm having quite a hard time following all this. Thank you for telling me their real names.
It is all right. You small folk get confused easily. I understand this.
It has nothing to do with height.
She will lead you back to a feasting area. I'll just drag you guys all back here. Boop. Well, I guess Stew Drinker and Moon Eye, are you guys following to the feasting area? Or are you staying to interact with your parents? Or what is your thought here?
Mooneye is going to push the monolith forward and go straight after them and not really engage. I nod to his parents, but that's all for now.
Okay. Stew Drinker?
Stew Drinker will go over to his parents and say, "Father, Mother, it's good to see you again."
Your mom just finally breaks and gives you a hug, and your father just nods stoically. I am surprised you bring Keothi back here. Have you finally talked sense into him? Has he stopped chasing his silly visions?
Father, I've brought him back, but we're only here, unfortunately, for a short time. There's something bigger around here, something important that we need to take care of. And I understand that his departure wasn't on the best of terms, but please, I need your help. We need your help. Frankly, everyone around here, we all need to work together to stop this.
I know not what you speak of. It seems he has caught you up in this fancy as well. I am disappointed, Kazarin. I expected more from you.
And Stew Drinker will look down and walk over to the feasting area.
Kina looks sort of saddened and apologetic. And she'll say, I'll just catch up with you in a little bit, okay?
Okay. Oh, and I've got a little present for you. And Stew Drinker will take out the little figurine that he got from the Berserker Cave and hand it over to Kina.
Wow, it's beautiful. I wonder if I could make it move. And she starts like looking at it, and yeah, I bet if I just cut right here and maybe like put some, oh my gosh, that would be so cool. Thank you. And she gives you a big hug. And with that endearing little hug, we will go ahead and take our break and be back in 10 minutes to see what happens next. So we'll be right back.
See you soon.
Hey, we are back, ready for more Goliath shenanigans. Before the break, you guys got to Wormdoom Crag and greeted everyone. You met up with Kazarin and Keothi's family, aka Stew Drinker and Mooneye, and learned their given names. Well, I guess not their given names, their birth names, rather than their nicknames. And you've been invited to feast with the chieftain and others. So the feast is great. They know how to make food. The stew in particular is delicious and is reminiscent of the little shots of stew that you guys have had given to you from Chwingas. How they get the stew hot from here, who knows? But Stew Drinker, you're just right at home with everything. So you guys pass the evening feasting, and then things start kind of winding down. The most of the like, I don't want to say public because like they're a clan, everyone's family here, but pretty much everyone sort of starts to drop off except for the chieftain. And finally things kind of settle, and she says, Kazarin, your father mentioned you had some great cause for being here.
Yes. My friends with whom I've journeyed and fought many battles, we're all here because there is a bigger threat than I've ever encountered. And I need everyone to stand united against this threat. And that includes us with the Sky Tower Goliaths.
I doubt there is any threat that the Wormdoom Crag Goliaths could not stand against. Did you not pass by the dragon bones outside? You yourself have walked through those many times. You see what our people can do. Why do we need these Sky Tower shelter Goliaths? We are not weak like them.
That's true, but what I fear is our strength will be our undoing. Because I have seen great warriors turn against their friends out in the snow. And
your tribe is full of strong warriors. That dragon you slew, that was no ordinary dragon. The vessel of a god. It was not just here trying to bother people and claim territory. It was here as a test. Your people slayed that dragon. You were granted great power from it. That's why you all grow so strong. But arrogance is the undoing of power. Do not think that you do not need help sometimes, just because you are large in stature and full of strong warriors.
And what help do we need? Our bellies are full, our people are strong, we are thriving.
Yes, and meanwhile everyone else is suffering. And soon you will too. You're living in a frozen hell.
Do you speak of the 10-towners, the small folk below the mountain? I care not for these. Their problems are their own.
Just remember, the tallest trees topple the hardest.
This is true that their problems are their own. But there are problems that affect all.
You speak of this greater threat. I have yet to hear a description, one that would set my bones to shivering. What is it that you are so scared of?
There is a great evil forming. Dark dwarves, and then a dark goddess of winter. They form an alliance. They will ravage the land, including our people. Wolves can hunt alone, but in times of need, they work in a pack. It is time to bring our packs back together.
Quill, do you add anything to this conversation?
Yeah. Quill will look to Moon Eye.
Would it be fine if I said something? I know that this is not my town.
You may.
My friends here, that I have not known for very long, have shown me that they have wisdom in the ways of the forest. I am sure that you know that everything comes and falls with seasons. Some years, the wolves are strong. In some years, there are rabbits aplenty. If the big threat is not dealt with, it may be a shadowy season for the Goliaths.
And by shadowy, she means hidden under the cloak. This Frostmaiden that is causing this frozen hell. I believe we may have looked upon her. Part beast, part maiden. Claws that could chill right down your spine. Think of a serrated knife carving down your back and slicing your flesh open, only to have it frozen shut as it trails along your back. Is that not enough to chill your spine? A grand being from the heavens, a divine, out to claim this wasteland and everything in it. I want to use my ability here. I want to use words of terror, and I want to try to make her afraid of the Frostmaiden.
All right. Is that a wisdom?
That's
save?
a wisdom saving throw. She doesn't know I tried it if she fails it.
You mean if she succeeds?
If she succeeds, that's what I meant.
What's my DC?
14.
She passes.
Worth a try.
I do not fear winter's wrath. We Goliaths, we can live through any winter, no matter how long. If it freezes out the towners, that is a shame, but it is no concern of mine. I do not know of these dark dwarves you speak of, though. What do you mean?
They are rising from the dark in the mountains with a giant metal dragon.
A metal dragon?
Yes.
There is no such thing. You cannot deceive me with your fantastical visions, Moon Eye. I know your story. You are here to convince us all of these fanciful dreams of yours, but I will not be cowed, especially to the Sky Tower shelter Goliaths.
Chieftain, we don't need you to cow to them. We simply wish for you to be, well, we want us all to stand together. Though we Goliaths are strong in the cold, in the winter, our food, they won't last. as it gets colder, as the winters continue to draw out, as these warriors that we've faced begin taking over the towns, we won't be able to stop them. We are strong, but what happens to the people of the towns is not simply death, but they begin changing into these warriors that, well, one of them took maybe 20, 30 of my swings and stood there laughing. And if you have no regard for the people of 10 towns, at the very least, imagine if all of those people became these beings who would seek to invade us.
Quan finally speaks up as well and just says quietly, "We simply seek a council. Will you just speak to the chieftain of Sky Tower Shelter?" And now I will have each of you make a either persuasion or intimidation roll, whatever you feel like you contributed to this discussion, and we'll see how we do.
I'm
A sad
going to
11.
use a hero point.
I think I will use a hero point as well, actually.
Okay.
As am I.
Okay.
As am I.
Chat, we had some poor rolls on that first
Oh,
round.
Even worse.
Kazarin, my friend.
Oh, yes. Mine's worse as well. I got a total of 1.
28.
Wow.
23.
Okay. So your highest Moon Eye was with chat and the hero point. That is a 9.
Yes.
And then Stew Drinker, your highest was a 7, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And then we had a 28 and a 25. Is that what we said?
They need an outside perspective here.
Apparently.
Yeah.
So we
As can I say something?
Uh-huh.
As she is
she's considering.
considering, Mooneye stands up. Chiefess, if I may speak again.
You may.
You do not need to listen to us. You do not need to take our tribe and have a simple action of walking to the others and speak to our people to try and make amends. But you must wake up and not be the fool that you have been since you've taken over this group.
That's
If you
more
care
like
about
it.
our people, you will do something instead of sitting and doing nothing. And I'll storm out.
Is that your explanation for your poor roll, or is that just in addition?
In addition.
Okay.
Is the wisest one for his age that I have ever laid eyes on. And he's gonna kind of turn with a huff and he's gonna follow after Moon Knight.
Ooh, Quill wants to do a huff out. Everyone else is.
She didn't even
So-
say anything yet.
I know,
You
I'm
guys
like-
aren't even waiting for an answer.
Well, I'll wait for her answer then. She's just gonna look
She's-
after
she's
them and
just
then look at
thinking,
her and
like-
she's like, did I miss the answer?
Keothi knows not of what he speaks. He speaks as if he has been around for these years of my leading this tribe. But he walks away again, as he always does.
That is irrelevant.
I am merely explaining. This does not surprise me from your brother, Kazarin. I will consider. I must speak with the spirit talker. We will see what the gods have to say of this.
Haskell just left, but I can get him for you again if you wish.
Our spirit talker.
Oh, I love that so much.
How long, if I may ask, have you been in this village? How long has it been since you ventured out and into the world?
How long have I been here, in my home?
Yes.
I have been here my whole life. But if you speak of venturing out, do you mean to 10 towns?
Yes. I mean, how long has it been since you left?
We have no need to leave. This is our home. We have what we need here to survive. We wander the lands around here for resources. Why would we go to the small folk? They offer us nothing but stares.
I look down at myself as being one of these small folk she's referring to. Just a little irritated that they keep bringing it up. Now she'll look up.
I also lived alone. I had a tribe, and then I lived with a hermit, where we did not rely on others. But there is more strength and knowledge to be found once we leave our small little walls. You say that your people can survive even the harshest of winters. But once the winter has crushed out the greenery and then crushed out the animals, how then will the Goliath survive? Consider it. Consider it. When you speak with your spirit talker.
I have already promised as much, and I have already tolerated insult in my own home. Perhaps you should speak to those who insult me, and I will consider.
She'll just shake her head.
To be a leader means to rise above. If someone does not know how to speak, that does not mean that you get to close your ears. You must try to understand.
I have told you. I will consider. Is that not listening? I make choices carefully, not on a whim, not with emotion, as your friends who have stormed out of here.
And there are two who stand before you, and yet you just choose to berate?
And you choose to lecture.
I have not lectured. I have merely advised. When I lecture, you will know it is a lecture.
Consider your advice received.
And I can leave now without it appearing huffy?
You can do as you wish. I will go seek out the spirit talker. If there is nothing else you wish to tell me before I do so.
I think that it is quite a miracle how you have raised such understanding and kind ones as Stew Drinker and Mooneye. And I'll bow to her.
They are not my children.
No.
Why do you keep... Why is that confusion?
I am not saying that. I'm sorry, perhaps it does not take a town to raise a child here. Where I come from, everyone has a hand in rearing the young ones.
Indeed. Your friend earlier mistook me for their mother. I was merely...
I am not Haskell.
Clearly.
I'll turn to Stew Drinker. You're still in here, correct?
Yes.
Did you have anything you wish to say? I will wait for you before I go.
No. I pray that the conversation, the spirit talker, will go well.
You are the best of us all.
And she'll like loop an arm up with him and like walk out.
Stew Drinker will go along.
Has she always been this way?
She'll ask as they're like walking out loud enough for her to hear.
So, Stew Drinker, one thing you know about her is her daughter is the one who was attacked by the griffin.
Oh, Chenna?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that whole incident was particularly upsetting for their family.
Right. Would I happen to know where Chenna might possibly be here?
I mean, everyone's just sort of around the cave.
Okay.
And they are like hosting you for the night. So like you guys are welcome to set up beds and things inside the cave system as well.
Okay. I'd like to explain to Quill as we're leaving, just in a whisper, afraid of maybe making the situation more volatile. But so the incident that started everything between us and the Sky Tower Goliaths, her daughter was a big part of it, and it's close to her heart. So I can see why she might be a little defensive right now.
That is a sad story. It perhaps explains, but does not excuse.
Yeah.
If you are to remain the leader, you must have an impartial gaze on the situation.
I agree. Hopefully the Spirit Talker will realign her focus.
We can only hope. Come, let us see your family while we wait. Or do you know if it will only take a moment?
I guess it depends, but I think you and my sister Cloud Thinker will get along really well.
She certainly has received Gale's attention. I am perhaps a little jealous.
Where did Moon Eye and Haskell go?
So it's like nighttime right now, right? It's the evening.
Yeah.
What's Goliath nightlife like?
Stories, songs, mostly stories though, and then bedtime.
Haskell wants to just go party in any way he can with these Goliaths, and he wants to be super friendly and try to make a good impression.
Okay.
Can he go get it on storytelling and songs?
Sure,
Go do a
yeah.
performance?
Mhm.
He's not going to be huffy as soon as he gets out of eyesight of the speaker. He's actually not in a bad mood.
She's not the speaker.
Was that just
Oh, she
solidarity with Moon
She
Eye?
acted exactly like a speaker, so she's not a speaker.
I do
And
not
now-
understand why you guys are mad at her. You didn't even let her answer.
That is 14 performance.
I have no idea why Haskell followed. Moon
He
Eye.
couldn't resist a good hump out. He was so proud of Moon Eye. Got swept up in the moment.
Yeah, you do pretty good. They are entertained by your stories. They have some good stories themselves, and you guys all pass the night. I guess Moon Eye.
Moon Eye is going to pass through the chamber where everybody else is and go outside to calm down a little bit. He's a little upset that he lost it so much. He needs to sit under the moonlight and try and refocus himself.
Okay. So as you're sitting out there, a small shape moves through the dark and settles down next to you. And it is Kina, Cloud Thinker.
Hello, sister.
I heard you yelling.
Yes,
Well-
that was not appropriate of me. I apologize for that.
What were you so mad about?
In there, I said I was mad about the speaker, but I am angered with the frustration of our people and that they will not listen. I am frustrated to see our father again, but it is good to see you. It has been a long time since I was here, and I have many feelings that I am dealing with. I am used to being alone, not surrounded by so many, especially those who were not so kind to me, sister.
It's hard to be different.
This is true. That is very wise words.
And sometimes it's hard when you think different. Everyone likes to think the same around here a lot of the time.
Yes, they do. Do you have that problem? You think different than them?
She pulls out the little bear figurine, and it's kind of in pieces. She's been tinkering with trying to make it able to move its appendages. Mom and Dad don't really get this. But some of my inventions have really helped. It just usually takes a while before everyone sees that I am just trying to help.
Well, I am glad that you have the patience and that they give the time to listen. You are a bright young girl. I can tell you that I do not understand that. I'm not even sure what it is you're doing, but
Well, I
I
don't
am proud
understand.
of you to do it.
I don't understand why you left, but I'm sure you had a good reason.
I needed to follow my journey, which was to be with the spirits and the Moon Maiden. I also, but not by good choices, left to get away from people here.
Well,
Not you.
I'm glad that I got to meet you for real.
Yes,
And
it is good to meet you as well.
as for the listening thing, you talk slow, right? Many of our people move slow. Goliaths aren't known for being fast like a rabbit. So maybe they just need a little time to move.
You may be right. As they say, if you do not move at the right speed, all you'll be left with is a rabbit's tail.
Right.
Hmm.
Or my favorite one, if you try to push an axe beak, it won't go anywhere.
Yes, that is very true. Very true. Hmm.
Dad's always saying that one.
Yes, he does say that one a lot. I had forgotten that.
You know, they did miss you a lot. I know Dad can be really grumpy sometimes, but we're all glad you're back, even if he puts on a grumpy face. Anyway, I should get to bed. And she gets up and she pats your shoulder. Maybe just try in the morning, see if anyone is thinking differently after a good night's rest.
Yes, I think morning is a good time. The sunrise is always wiser than the sunset, correct?
You're just like Dad.
Well, I don't know about that.
You even laugh like him. Good night. She scampers off toward the cave.
Good night.
All right. Passing the night. Anything else? Anyone else wanted to do anything specific? Okay.
Just gonna rest.
Yeah, so you guys are able to rest in the cave. Quan is even quieter than usual. She seems very nervous and on edge. Like she's worried maybe this whole thing was just, a nonsense dream. But you wake up to the chieftain like nudging you awake on the cave floor. Come, we have received an answer.
Can I insight to see if this is a favorable answer or not?
Sure.
Six?
It's very early. You're
too
tired and groggy.
and
and she just generally is a pretty stone-faced person. So you don't really get a read. But she leads you to another chamber of the cave. And you see that there's a tunnel like in the ground. So like you see one hole, one side of it here, the other side of it here. It seems to go like under the ground. From the opening, you can see that on the walls of the tunnel are like runes and stuff are carved into the walls. And there's a fire and another Goliath who appears to be blind. She, her eyes are all clouded over. Oh, sorry, Moon Eye, I'll bring you in here too.
Oh, thanks.
And she's sitting by the fire in front of, and it's just kind of smoking right now. And the chieftain says, Jagric here has consulted the spirits, our ancestors, to see what their will is with this feud and with this alliance that you propose. The signs are disturbing, I'm afraid. Disturbing of what may come. We saw signs of the Moon Maiden. She has willed that this must be, that we must at least try to talk to the Sky Tower Shelter Goliaths. So, this is what I will do. She seems super reluctant and almost on the verge of disgust, but she bites out the words.
Thank you, Chieftain Orc Splitter. The Moon
Haskell's
Maiden
gonna start
does this.
clapping.
She sent us here.
It is as Jagric has told me. She said she saw an incredible vision with you, Kazarin, and Keothi. And Goat Ball. It was a confusing vision, but the answer is clear.
Yes, it was.
I will do my part, and I will hold a council. However, I have no power over what the Sky Tower Shelter Goliaths do, and knowing them, they are just as stubborn as and prideful as well, I have no chance of convincing them. So if you truly wish this to happen, then you need to go reason with their thick heads.
Where do they live?
We know where they live.
I would be glad to bring my charm elsewhere.
Where would you like to meet?
Perhaps it would be fitting to meet at the Goat Ball Court, where this first started. Do you not
Please tell
think
me
there
we're
is
not
some...
using... You don't use the goats as the ball, right?
Of course not. It is a sport. It is a competition of strength and agility and intelligence.
That sounds
I
wonderful.
would not expect you small folk to understand something of...
Stop comparing size. You've convinced me. I just wanted to make sure. Sorry to derail the conversation.
She'll, like, mutter to Stew Drinker, your friend seems quite foolish to not know what goat ball is. That is...
Yes, he is quite naive.
Indeed.
Okay, I'll teach him.
Every young one here knows what that is.
You
Anyway,
can't blame me for being curious. I'm pretty sure any of you could fold up a goat into a ball.
Now, Tori, you said she woke us up.
yeah.
And so why was it important to hear this right now instead of in a few hours?
Because the speaker had a vision, was ready to bring about the words.
Haskell's gonna kick Quill in the shin.
They could not remember the words for later?
You seemed so
Do you always
pressed
remember
for
a
an
dream?
answer last night.
That is a
thought it
good
only
point,
fitting.
Lunai. Yes, you are quite right.
She just like starts talking over the chief and like just agrees with Mooneye, like tunes her all the way out.
Thank you. I was quite curious about that. No harm in being curious.
None at all.
All right. So, if we're already awake, we should eat and head out. Of course, we have another job to do, so it would be best to get this one over quickly.
I will agree to meet in 3 days' time at the Goat Ball Court. That should give you enough time to travel to the Sky Tower shelter and convince those... She glances at Quan. The others to also meet and seek peace.
If you're going to want to seek peace, you might want to start by stopping the venom towards them with your eyes. Just an observation.
She turns to you and says, I have given you my answer. And it is the answer that you wanted. I suggest you take it.
Is a good answer. Thank you, Chieftain. We will go and be back in 3 days with the others.
Very good. I will be there. And she leaves. The
Thank you,
spirit
Chieftain.
talker looks at you all blindly and says, that was quite a vision. Seems like it was quite tiring for you, too.
It was tiring, but it was also a beautiful gift to be able to help our people.
If
We haven't
this,
helped them yet.
if this
We have helped them more than you can realize already, Haskell.
this black dragon, it is quite dangerous. If we do forge a new alliance with the Sky Tower Shelter Goliaths, I think perhaps our people should march on the fortress.
I'm always a fan of taking action.
I can see that about you. You are
Thank you.
also a fan of your own voice.
I don't hate it.
It is not the worst I have heard. Not the best, but not the worst.
You have
It's the
not heard
warmest
enough of
thing.
it then.
It's the warmest thing any of your people have said to me. Let us go.
Okay. So you guys head off. The Sky Tower shelter is about 10 miles away. So it's a good day's travel through the mountainy snow. And is that a hand raised?
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
Can I Rocky Talkie my girlfriend?
Sure.
Thank
Oh,
you.
have you guys moved to girlfriend status?
Well, I don't know.
Oh.
I was just
Oh.
avarice. I
Pursued
should
lover.
say
That's
avarice.
what I used.
Not my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's up?
All right. So she'll go ahead and bring her up. Avarice.
What is so important that you are calling me so early? I need my beauty rest. You of all people would understand that.
You are the one who stressed I contact you as soon as I had an update. I was merely trying to be considerate, but I can call you again later.
Please, you've already woken me. I would love to hear what you have to say.
It will take me 3 more days to wrap up this unfortunate job I have found myself in.
And what job is that exactly?
That is a no-need-to-know basis, and you have not been very nice lately.
What are you wearing right now?
That is my question. Don't steal things.
I just assumed you were wearing the cloak I sent.
Perhaps. It is quite soft. Thank you.
Perhaps even nice?
I see what you are doing. I will talk to you again. Get your beauty rest.
Quill. What are you doing? I can't help you if you don't tell me.
It is not that I think what I am doing is dangerous and in need of help. Just perhaps I feel you would not think it worthy of putting your job on pause.
I thought we were working together.
If you must know so badly, I am brokering peace between 2 Goliath settlements.
And what do you hope to gain from this?
Is she out of earshot of everyone else?
I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah,
I
she would
imagine
have
Haskell is back gossiping with Moon Eye, like in the distance a little ways.
gossiping, and
Quan's not bothering you.
Quan's not there. She'll look for where Stew Drinker is. 'cause
Probably
sometimes Stew
leading
Drink-
with his boots.
Haskell's definitely looking at you. Like he's analyzing.
Okay, she'll turn her back and like swish her cloak as if she's having a cutesy conversation. And she will just say, like, send back one final message, and she'll just say, compliance.
And here I thought you were going soft on me.
And she'll just leave the conversation at that.
Okay. You guys walk the trail between the clans. It's not very well used. Because they have stopped traveling between the two clans. However, it's simple enough to find. And it's far up on another mountain peak. It's carved into like it's tunnels and stuff carved into in the book it says 15,000 foot high mountain, It's way up there. And you walk up a big stone causeway that ascends all the way up to Sky Tower Shelter. You see griffins circling the peak, flying around in the air. And there's a big spiky gate at the end of the causeway, leading into what you would assume is the rest of Sky Tower Shelter, but it is closed to you at the moment.
As you can see, they are not as welcoming as our people.
Quan steps is a little more confident now than she was at Wormdoom Crag, and she says, "Please, I can lead this one. They will let me in if I explain that you are with me." And she glances at Haskell. "I will warn you, the Sky Tower Shelter Goliaths do not take insult lightly. Perhaps it would be best to proceed diplomatically."
I always proceed diplomatically.
Oh,
Until it calls for something else.
In that case, Haskell, perhaps you should pretend to be mute for a day.
I can't do that.
It would be an excellent practice for performing. You can perfect the skills of gesture.
One day without me, and you'd realize how much of our diplomatic relations come from me.
I
Trust
dream
me.
of that day, Haskell.
Perhaps today can be that day. We can try it out.
I will play nice. Don't you worry.
I am a little worried with the time I have spent with you, but we have no other choice.
I will keep quiet unless things are going south.
Is that Moon Eye raising his hand or Ian?
Ian raising his
Okay.
hand. I just want to say, I really like, this is totally aside, but on that map, I really like the way they put in the birds to show the perspective of how high up.
Yeah,
is.
it's so cool.
Yeah, it's a cool touch.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice that. That is cool.
Kind of freaking me out.
Is way up there. As you guys walk up this causeway, you hear the screeching of griffins. They seem to be alerting the people inside that someone is approaching. And the gate is built such that there are gaps in it, like you can see through it. And you see through it that there's a large Goliath he seems to be kind of like on guard duty, maybe. And he's standing on the other side of the gate. And he shouts, "Who goes there? What business do you have with Sky Tower Shelter?" Quan shows herself and explains that you guys are with her as her guests. And he glances at Haskell and Quill, seems skeptical but okay with it, and then he sees Stew Drinker and Moon Eye, and he says, "Why would you have guests from Wormdoom Crag? Those Goliaths cannot be trusted." And Quan explains that she starts trying to explain how maybe they're trying to seek peace, and she's clearly like floundering. She's not a great speaker. And you can tell that she's getting a little bit tripped up and flustered as she's trying to explain herself.
Haskell, it's your moment. Prove to us all what the little bard can do.
We come here in peace. We come here to try to bring these two clans together. You know how stubborn those fools can be from Wormdoom Crag. Do you not?
Of course. They are stubborn fools, prideful.
I won't disagree with you there. Thick skulls, not just for combat. But even they, with their thick skulls and small minds, were able to see a reason for you two to come together. Now we wish to convince you, the clearly wiser Sky Tower? Sky Tower? That's the tribe?
Sky Tower Shelter.
Mm-hmm.
Sky Tower Shelter to do the same. We anticipate this should be an easier feat, for one's as wise and as reasonable as you. That's what I've heard anyways. I'm hoping I won't be disappointed and proven wrong.
We have also heard that you listen to the gods being so high up here. And it is the spirits that have led us onto this journey of unification.
Haskell, go ahead and roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay, can I have used one of my own bardic inspirations on myself here as well?
Yes. Moon, I forgot to narrate this, but you do also have a bag of whale song, or a bottled whale song, which can add inspiration.
What?
Dice.
He just cracks a background mix?
Maybe.
There's whale noise echoing in the background of Haskell's speech.
The birds are freaking out, wondering what that noise is.
I'm gonna
Okay,
keep the whale song
so-
for inside.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Persuasion, you said, right?
It'll be harder
Mhm.
to convince them than it is to get in.
That's 14 plus I'm going to roll my inspiration dice of
Big
5 more. So
money.
that's 19. 19.
Nice.
As you're sharing your speech, he's got his arms folded, and he's listening and nodding along. He seems very pleased with the reasonable words that are coming out of your mouth. They just make sense. Of course, the Worm-Doom Crag Goliaths would seek peace with us. We are the stronger, superior, wiser Goliath clan. It is only natural they would want us as allies. However, they have shunned us all these years. What reason do we have now to show them that kind of friendship when they have not shared it with us?
Because old grudges are a fool's game, and you are not fools. Hear them out.
And as I said, this is a mission of the gods. A speaker has spoken to the spirits, and we carry their message.
They're speaking it now. You hear it, don't you? He's going to hold his hand up to the sky.
I am no
Whispers on the
spirit
wind.
talker. However, we will ask our own. I trust no omens from the Worm-Doom Crag Goliaths. The spirits deceive them, for they are displeased with their dishonorable living. And he looks scornfully at Moon Eye and Stew Drinker. We
I
cannot
just-
trust the spirits to speak to them.
Just like ever so subtly, Quill reaches out and just like holds on to the Goliath brothers and then like a little reassurance, just get through this moment type of way.
The spirits aren't speaking to them. They're speaking to me, and I have spoken with many, from many different places. I hear them as loud as someone shouting in my ear up here on this high haven.
If the spirits speak to you, small folk, about this important thing, then surely they will speak to our spirit talker.
It's much easier for him to hear being so much taller.
I have a question.
The Moon Maiden will speak to your spirit talker.
Oh. I have a
Oh.
question.
Yes, small one. Speak.
Could it be possible that we could get off of this very narrow cliff onto something a little more stable? I fear that a breeze could send us over the edge at any moment. We are not as large as you.
Yes, it is perilous for small folk such as yourself. That is why we keep it this way, because your kind are not usually welcome. However, you are guest of one Quan the Monolith. Come in. And he'll open the gate for you guys to come through.
Name has a nice ring to it, by the way.
What it does?
You see that to Quan?
Yeah.
It was earned.
Good job.
All right, so you guys step inside. I'll make sure we bring the map along with us. And you see around there just griffin nests all over, and griffins all over as well. And it's way less jovial and like welcoming here. People, they seem friendly enough among each other, but just talking, like sharing stories, these Goliaths just are a lot less friendly to you guys, to all of you, especially Moon Eye and Stew Drinker. People like pointedly ignore you or even like give you dirty looks, mutter things behind your backs, that kind of thing. But no aggression at all. That would be
Okay.
far beyond dishonorable. That they would not do that to guests.
As we're walking, I'd say everyone can see like Stew Drinker just really trying to find someone amongst the Goliaths up here.
Come with me, small folk, and you, dishonorable Wormdoom Crag Goliaths, may accompany as well. See how the real spirit talkers access the ancestral power.
You can just continue to call them you. You'll save much more time than continually saying dishonorable wormstone crag Goliaths.
I will speak how I wish in my own home.
Of course.
By the way, I am Arn Rockfist. You may call me Rockfist.
You may call me Haskell, the smaller one.
He will lead you to kind of a central area where there's a fire burning. And another blind Goliath here. Or no, that's a lie. Hang on, I remember I switched it. You see a young woman, young female Goliath here around the fire. And she's tossing small bits and pieces into the fire. And Stew Drinker, you recognize her immediately. And Moon Eye, you do too, because you saw a vision, although she looked younger when you saw her in the vision. You recognize Esmeralda, Fire Master. That's right. That's the name we gave her. And she's stoking this fire. And she looks up as Rockfist walks in with you guys. And she like kind of takes everyone in, and her eyes just lock on Stew Drinker. And she looks shocked. And immediately, like, she looks down, she kind of like drops what she was holding. Hello, hi. She stands up and she like isn't sure what to do with her hands. Like takes a half step forward and pauses, and then looks at Rockfist. What? Who are these guests? And he explains that these small folk and these Wormdoom Crag Goliaths have come to watch the real spirit talkers work.
Stew Drinker, I think that one likes you. Maybe you should do the talking. Just remember that everything you say, don't consider it for these people. It's for your people. And I'm going to give Stew Drinker one of my bardic inspirations.
Will wants to pick on this girl.
Yes, the spirit talker. I will prepare the fire. Rockfist, well, no, she'd call him Arn. Arn, do you wish them to come? And he'll say it as they please. So, do you guys follow her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stew Drinker, absolutely.
Haskell's being very responsible.
Super responsible. Okay. I don't want you. I'll just use you. All these Goliaths around. So she leads you kind of back out and around through this network of tunnels. It's just all very like windy through the mountain.
Even their
Into
tunnels are built poorly.
Just keep those thoughts inside, Mooneye, and then we can explode and scream them to the wind after we leave.
I said it quietly.
It echoes in here, and you are quite a loud individual.
The Wormdoom Crag Goliaths are merely jealous of our superior mountain. We are higher up, closer to the gods, as you say, small one.
See, they heard you.
Once you guys get into this sort of main chamber, or actually, you would be over here. Ignore all the Goliaths that are in here. It's just tokens on the map. But there's another tunnel. This one looks more like a well kind of thing, and it's very similar in that it has runes carved on the inside. It reminds you of the tunnel that you saw in Wormdoom Crag. And there's a small fire pit nearby. And she, as a fire master, starts prepping the fire. And after some time, Rockfist tells Esmeralda that he will go fetch the spirit talker and to watch these guests, especially the Wormdoom Crag Goliaths, as they cannot be trusted.
As soon as Rockfist is kind of like out of like sight, Stew Drinker is going to kneel down and try to help her set up the fire.
Oh, thanks. It's okay. I can do this. I've done it lots of times before.
I know. And you're really good at it.
She blushes super obviously and just sort of like tucks her hair and continues looking down at the fire, getting everything ready. So, why are you here? I mean, sorry, I'm really glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm here too.
But why are you here? And she kind of glances back at your motley crew.
Well, at the moment we're on a mission, and we're hoping that we can repair this rift between our tribes.
That's really admirable, but kind of impossible, don't you think? It's been years.
Look at how strong he is. Anything is possible.
Thank you, Haskell. I thought it'd be impossible too. I never thought I'd be able to see you again. But here we are. And our chieftain has agreed to meet in council. So,
Chief Orc Splitter agreed to that?
yes.
Wow. Well, I wish you luck. I'm sorry. And she stands up and turns around to all of you. I'm Fire Master. Who are your friends?
This is Quill. Quill is one of the most powerful mages I've ever seen. This is Haskell, and Haskell will share with you the most amazing stories. He's slain great beasts that I have never seen before.
He does a very dramatic bow.
This is my brother, Mooneye, who's kept a close eye and kept me safe all these years. And this is Quan. You may know her, but she sought us out, and she's helping us on this mission.
Both of you together. Wow. Quan nods in agreement. Well, I mean, I just make the fire. I don't know what kind of vision our spirit talker will have. But I guess I'll keep my fingers crossed for you.
So you're not the one who speaks to the spirits.
Oh, no, I just do the fires.
No, of course not,
Fire
Haskell.
master.
Do you hear the fire speak sometimes when you prepare it?
I mean, I like to think that fire is kind of a form of communication. It's sort of an art.
Like music.
Yeah, like music, like a song. This is my song. And she looks down at the fire that's now starting to build up. I think it would be amazing to be a spirit talker, but that takes a lot of training.
Keep on practicing your art. But I think you could learn your own spirit speaking.
While she talks to Haskell, Moon Eye is going to lean into Stew Drinker. Keothi, do not forget to open your musk glands.
Kazarin, right?
Oh,
You
sorry,
just call
Kazarin.
him your
I'm
own name?
Keothi. Yeah.
I was like, I have to. He speaks about himself in the third person.
Haskell's gonna snap to the side. Don't listen to your brother on this one. Trust me.
What would you know, Haskell, about these matters?
Quite a lot, actually.
You are not Goliath.
I feel like there's a general custom to these kind of things.
To starting fires? Or
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what we're talking about.
Well, Quill, right?
Yes, that is my name.
I've never really seen like real magic. I mean, spirit talking, I guess, is a kind of magic, but I don't know if this is rude. I'd love to see something like a spell, or you must be pretty
Haskell's-
powerful if you were able to tame a yeti. She looks down at Gale.
That is just a matter of emotion and control.
She pets
And
her
slaughtering
little
its
yeti.
family.
That's
Since she has put magic on the table, Haskell's gonna low key do a prestidigitation and clean Stew Drinker's clothes.
Fix his
What a
hair.
wingman.
most of my magic is quite dangerous and difficult to do just tricks with, but
And she'll pop open her water skin, which I assume she's refilled at some point in the past bajillion days. And she'll use shape water, she'll pull it out and she'll make it into like a little snowman that keeps falling over, and then it's like rebuilds itself and falls over because she can make like little images with it.
That's beautiful. Wow.
this is just a very small thing. I can also
Fetch things, and she'll let that disperse, and she'll actually like feed it back into her water skin so she doesn't waste water everywhere. But she'll like mage hand something over to herself. And yeah, she'll leave it at cantrips.
Esmeralda, Firemaster, seems very interested in all of this. And as you guys are chatting and wingmanning, etc., Rockfist returns with a blind Goliath. And he says, "Now we shall see what the spirits really say. This spirit talker you can trust. Do not listen to the Wormdoom Crag Goliaths. They are foolish." And he definitely like grins smugly at Moon Eye and Stew Drinker as he says this. He's very secure in his position and very pleased with it. He also is with another male Goliath who is dressed a little more ornately. You think perhaps this might be the chief. And they are holding hands. So you think that might be why he is very secure in his position around these parts. Quill just cast burning hands. Just burn them all. You wanted to see magic?
It was an
I'll show you
accident. I was
magic.
looking at my spell still.
If I may make a very bold suggestion, perhaps before we put any judgment on either side, we listen to the spirits. For as wise as the Sky's Tower tribe may be, and for as foolish as the other tribe may be, are the spirits not the wisest amongst us?
This is true.
Rockfist is actually quiet now that the chieftain is there. And the chieftain says, "The small one speaks wisely. Let us see what our ancestors have to say about this." And the spirit talker nods and says, "Yes, Chief Herod," and creeps forward toward the fire and sits before it, closes their eyes. No, they don't close their eyes. They keep their eyes open and they meditate for some time. And the smoke, you see, starts to kind of move, not like forming shapes, but it moves a little bit unnaturally. And they, their brow furrows and they seem like they are watching something very intently. After, I don't know, long enough to kind of an uncomfortably long time, we'll say like 30 minutes of this, and everyone, all the Goliaths at least, all the Sky Tower Shelter Goliaths are standing in perfect silence. No one is making a peep. So after a very long period of silence, finally the spirit talker opens their eyes and they look shaken, and they look to Moon Eye and Stew Drinker and they say, "It's impossible, but I saw them. They were there and yet not, and they shake their heads and they turn toward the chief. We must attend this peace talk. The spirits will it. The Moon Maiden herself wills this." The chieftain looks with a raised eyebrow at Stew Drinker and Moon Eye. "What do you have to do with it, you two?"
We
Wow.
serve the Moon Maiden and we serve our people. And I mean all Goliaths.
These two have much destiny on them. I would imagine the spirit seer can smell it on them.
The spirit talker nods and explains that a black dragon comes for all of them, and they must stand united against them, as is the will of the Moon Maiden and the servants of the Moon Maiden. The chief looks around imperiously and finally nods and says, "Fine, I will attend this peace talk, but I will make no compromises for the Wormdoom Crag Goliaths. They have not been friends of ours, and I will look out for my people. If they can be reasonable, then perhaps there is a chance."
And Quill thinks, uh-oh. Let us not say that out loud.
I am so pleased to find that you're as reasonable as I was told. Thank you so much for hearing us out. I have been traveling around this frozen hell, speaking with many a dunce of a speaker. And finally someone has some reason to their words.
If you have been traveling among the 10 towns, then that is no surprise. The small folk down there know not of what they speak. They are disconnected from the spirits.
They are a bunch of fools.
Indeed.
Fools who feed the moon maiden. Idiots.
As cattle often do.
You small ones, and you
Smaller one.
Worm Doom Crag Goliaths. You may stay here for the night. We will shelter you. And we will come to your peace talk. I am assuming someone will tell them that 3 days' time, or I guess now 2 days' time, is when the Worm Doom Crag Goliaths are going to be there. And they will
Absolutely.
plan accordingly. So for the sake of time, we will kind of speed along the last little bit of this. You guys basically will have an extra day here at Sky Tower Shelter. They aren't really friendly to you still, but they tolerate you, and Esmeralda is friendly enough to you guys.
Can I try to make them friendly?
You can try.
Can I roll performance? Can I just be the most cheerful, entertaining guy in this whole tribe?
Sure. You can make a performance of 11.
Goliaths just don't get Haskell.
No, they don't. You're small folk. You're not one of them. They naturally distrust you. But it's fine. And Esmeralda and their Firemaster and Stew Drinker get to hang out, and she does hang out with you for the day you have free. And then you guys head toward this peace talk at this goat ball court where it all went down in the first place. And things don't go super well, as Quill may have imagined. They both chieftains are quite stubborn and set in their ways, and they both make just ridiculous demands of the other. And you soon realize that this is sort of like a contest in itself, a contest of wills, rather than physical strength or anything. And they go back and forth, and when everything seems like it's falling apart, you all hear a great big roar just crash through the sky, and you see the sky, you see it in the distance, great plumes of black smoke just spewing out of the mountain, not the mountain you guys are at, but miles away. And this huge creature flying up through the smoke, the dim light reflecting on its metal plates, and you see a great black metal dragon flying through the sky straight toward 10 towns.
Oh, it's not coming to us?
It's going to 10 towns.
Oh,
For
no!
And we will end there.
Aw, man.
Uh-oh.
We're ending there for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. There's your
Uh-oh.
cliffhanger on the edge, up in the mountains. So quickly wrap. So chat, we are taking a break for 2 weeks. You guys are gonna have to live on this cliffhanger till then, because I have life stuff. I'm moving houses, so I need to focus on that, and it's a little bit hard to stream when I don't have internet set up. So I will be doing that. We will be back in 2 weeks, though, with a very special session. We are going, should I spoil it right now? I guess I can build the hype now.
do it.
Yeah. So in 2 weeks' time, or I'm sorry, it's going to be in 3 weeks, but we're skipping 2 sessions is what it is. So we'll be back on June 14th with 2 special guests who have not come on this show for quite some time. We are going to check back in with Vinny and Ijira, and we're going to see them back in 10 Towns, and they're going to help fight the dragon and do all of the cool stuff. So tune in for that. We're going to have all 6 players. It's going to be super cool, super fun. So mark your calendars, and hopefully that will be cool enough to make up for the 2 sessions we're skipping. So sorry, we're gonna have to leave you hanging, but
We're
thank
gonna
you
try
for
and
tuning
bring
in
some
tonight.
content on at least one of those weeks, though.
Yes.
So still tune in. We'll get our whole schedule updated and let you know what days we're doing what.
Yes, there's a chance we might have a fun little tabletop treasure hunters season 3 teaser on one of those nights. So still cool stuff to watch. So tune in. Then this week we have Black Void tomorrow, right, Chase?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, so
Yep.
tune in for Black Void. And then Wednesday we have part 2 of Chase's super creepy, super just awful, horrific cult playthrough. So if you're into horror, you can join up for that one as well. And then in June we have some cool games coming as well. So just watch out for our schedule and everything. We'll keep you guys posted. Also, sorry to chat for not using any of my villain points tonight. It was just a big role play session, and sometimes that happens. But I do appreciate the faith you showed in me, giving me 12. But I
You
promise.
kept me scared. I was
Yeah.
afraid.
Yeah.
I promise if you give me villain points in 3 weeks, that I will have a big black metal dragon to do stuff with. So keep that in mind. Yeah. All right. We will wrap up there. Thank you all. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, chat, for tuning in. Thank you for the new follows, the new subs. We really appreciate your support. Now, if you like what we do and you want to see more, please follow or subscribe here on Twitch or YouTube, where we're posting our old VODs, or social media. And join us over on Discord. Come hang out with all the cool people we have over there. You can also show your support by purchasing dice and cool stuff from Die Hard Dice or any of our other affiliate partners. You'll also find our Patreon link in the discount section, all of that down below. Now, thank you so much. Your support means the world. We really love you guys. Now go take a long rest. Man, I don't know what my life advice for this week is. Go take a long rest.
Practice self-care. Take breaks.
Don't be as
Practice
stubborn as
self-care.
Goliaths and or speakers.
Yeah,
That's true.
don't be open-minded. Listen, maybe
Yes.
consider an opinion you haven't considered before.
Yes.
All right, and we'll catch you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.